In 2007, he came out with a reality show called Gotti's Way. And Gotti's Way was only 2 seasons, but those 2 seasons showed me an intimate view on what it looked like to decouple, what it looked like to attempt to co-parent, the differences between what a mother felt that the family needed and what she needed as an individual, and what the father thought he needed to do to be a provider and to keep his family together.
I want to be with her, but then a part of me is like, you know what? I think I've outgrown you.
The women that you're with, you refer to them as scally.
Is there going to be a surviving Irv Gotti documentary coming out soon? Because his ex-wife is finally sharing her side of the story on everything that went down with Irv tearing his family apart for the love of Ashanti. I mean, have you seen the many interviews Irv Gotti has made about his supposed relationship with Ashanti? He could never keep her name out of his mouth and got into an uproar when Ashanti paid him dust and wouldn't even consider a working relationship with him. Now Deb is saying that this nasty attitude and obsession with Ashanti spilled over into their relationship big time, and boy, did he make her pay for loving him and trying to keep their family together. Now let's break this down.
Third, there's no boundaries. Like, he comes, we're there, we're available. He's living 2 lives, and for me, it doesn't make sense.
You have found that woman. It might not have lasted, but you have
She's
found...
definitely a special one, but she wasn't special enough for me to stop.
Irv Gotti and Deb Lorenzo got divorced back in 2013 after they had been together for a decade, and one thing that folks were always saying about Deb was that she was silly for staying with a man for so long who was a real butthole to her. He downright disrespected her in front of their children and mocked her about her education and how her daughter should be doing better than her. But from what Deb has been saying, things didn't start out like that at all. When she and Irv got married back in 2003, she had expected him to be traveling around, signing a lot of deals, and making a lot of money while she held down the fort at home with their children. But what she didn't expect was to be slapped with the revolving door of women that Irv continuously messed with. What made it truly messy was the fact that he believed he wasn't doing anything wrong and that Deb was crazy to think she could be the only woman to ever satisfy him.
Still married, but we were separated when they were dating. I was used to it from the beginning, like him going and traveling. I just wasn't used to the women. That was like new, like, where did these hoes come from?
You know, I think...
You wanted people to forgive you when you do stuff?
Don't talk about the cheat. I'm a good chip off the old block, aside from the infidelities. You know, in my crazy mind, I thought that was life. This is my wife. This is my family. But this bitch is here to suck my...
Child, the nerve. Their relationship was beyond dysfunctional, and we all got a taste of what it was like for Deb when their reality show Gotti's Way aired back in 2007. But Deb still tried, and she stayed, thinking that Irv was going to change. Deb had tried to divorce Irv when she found out about his cheating, but she had kids to think about, and their children, especially their eldest, Sonny, didn't want their parents divorcing. Irv was a very good father to their kids, and he had adopted her daughter as his own and never treated her any differently than his other children. In fact, Deb's daughter never even knew that Irv Gotti wasn't her biological dad until she had heard it outside of the house. But he still made sure that their relationship did not change. While he was always traveling around, Irv made sure to be back on weekends to see the kids, hang out with them, and attend school events, all of the things that a real dad does. But apparently, he just wanted to be there for the kids and nothing more. Unfortunately, that also gave Deb false hope. Every time he would come home on the weekends, she believed there was a chance she could save her marriage and that things would turn around. As far as the women went, oh yeah, they would always come and go. There wasn't anyone in particular that Irv was hung up on, well, at least not until Ashanti. Ashanti became the Princess of Murder Incorporated, her songs were rising in the charts, and she was getting brand deals left, right, and center. Irv couldn't stop talking about the money and moves he and Ashanti were making while Deb stayed at home with the kids. Eventually, he started spending more time in the studio, becoming more like a part-time dad rather than a full-time parent sharing the responsibility of raising them. Then the news started flying around that Ashanti and Irv were doing more than just making music and money together. When he was interviewed on the Wendy Williams show, Irv did shut down claims that Ashanti was a homewrecker. He said that the two of them were in love and only got together after he and Deb were separated.
Why is it that if a man gets married, a man and woman get married, if they're separated, they're not gonna be together. They're not staying together. I can't go mess with other girls until I sign a divorce paper? Why?
No, yes, you can.
Okay, then what's the problem?
But the thing is, Deb and Irv's relationship only took a turn when Irv and Ashanti started getting a little too close for comfort. It became worse when Ashanti dumped him and moved on with Nelly. That was a whole situation that Irv was never able to recover from. Since Ashanti wouldn't pay him the time of day, he allegedly started taking his frustrations out on his wife. Irv didn't sugarcoat his feelings about Ashanti, and he was growing incredibly disrespectful towards Deb, even when his children were present and witnessing everything go down. It was like Deb was his emotional dumping ground, and it didn't help that Deb and the kids fully relied on Irv for everything they needed. Deb didn't have a real job and didn't have enough money on her own to move out and start a life. Irv, of course, knew that, and he took advantage of the situation.
She used to wear these juicy sweats and her ass was looking fat. Her ass was looking great. So one day, I was like, yo, I'll take you home. She said, bet, cool. I walk into a front door of her crib. She turns to say goodbye. And I just kiss her and grab her ass. And just, mwah.
It's the fear. And like, can I survive on my own? I feel stuck a little bit. And I've been like this for a while. I stayed this long because I was afraid. You know, when we first separated, I really thought, Irv would come back home. I thought we would work things out. And then as time goes on, you see it's not going to work.
Made those records. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wrote them, but she wrote them with the help of me telling her what to write. Mm. And all of y'all, whoever knows me, I don't lie. Mm-hmm. I'm not a liar. Mm-hmm. I'm going to spritz it up and jazz it up. Is this the camera?
Yes.
Ashanti, you cannot spritz it up. You cannot jazz it up. The minute you put some spritzy and jazz it up, it's not a cover. So when it's not a cover, now it has to come back to me to clear it.
Before Irv confirmed that he and Ashanti were seeing each other, everyone assumed that she was either messing with Ja Rule or C. Sana. But when he confirmed to millions that he was the one in love with Ashanti like that, it was like he blew the gates wide open. He was also more confident in talking about other women he messed with in Hollywood, saying that he was one of the ones that gave Karine Steffans the name Superhead and made it clear that he was entitled to cheat with as many women as he wanted because it was all a part of the game. It was one thing to deal with Irv's cheating when only a few people knew about it, but now that he had blasted it for the whole world and wouldn't stop talking about it even in front of their family and kids, Deb knew that their marriage was well and truly over. She packed up her things, left, and never looked back. That was the best thing she could have ever done because Irv never stopped fooling around. Irv was 48 and still talking about wanting a freaky ride or die that would have his kids and let him do whatever he wanted. He stayed hung up on Ashanti until he passed away, and now the people have something to say about the things that Deb has revealed. One person commented, Irv Gotti beat the feds in $1 million money laundering trial, but instead of telling that story, he chooses to talk about the time that he slept with Ashanti 20 years ago. Another person said, and they say women act on emotion, yet an emotional man will do 32 interviews on a woman who ain't typed a sentence about him. But what I want to know right now is how you'll feel about all of this. Sound off in the comments and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because you know the drama won't stop. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.